and welcome to Philosophy 101. So you guys are all here for the Mandalorian panel, right? You're in the wrong place, buddy. Anyway, I am Lewis.
I'm Jamie.
And we are the Angrygeeks, and we're going to bring you guys to a galaxy far, far away.
Woo!
How do you know it's that galaxy?
Great. That was awesome.
That was awesome. Let's bring in some of the cast members of The Mandalorian. Chris, Emily, and Misty. There's Emily, there's Misty, there's Chris. Now, we got some con rules first. The con, no video streaming, no video taking, but you can take pictures, okay? All set with the con rules? Good, now you got Angrygeeks rules. We got special rules. See, you guys up here in, up in Colorado don't know us down in New England.
Sideways.
So we got some certain rules that we have to lay down for our own panels and our own show, but unfortunately, these guys are going to set the rules. So Emily, Misty, and Chris, what questions do you not want to answer? What questions you cannot answer? And what questions are you just done tired of answering? Please let everyone know now, so we're not going to be, I can't talk about that.
You can ask anything. You can ask anything.
You can ask whatever you want. We might not answer it, but you can ask whatever you want. Yeah.
Hold on a second. Misty. Misty, you want to, anything?
Oh, no.
No.
Ask away.
So is the con treating you guys good?
Yeah.
Yes, very good.
It's been really wonderful.
Really?
Having
All right.
fun.
So
Seeing all the costumes.
I know you guys saw Jamie before anything.
Yes.
Yeah. She set the bar high.
Yes.
Oh.
Seriously.
Thanks. Aw.
All right. We got a lot of people here, so instead of us bantering back and forth, let's put it in your guys' hands. Yes, Mando.
This is the way.
This is the way.
Is that a question?
Do you have a question?
Yes, I do. Do you guys like your roles in The Mandalorian?
Yes.
Miserable. I'm so miserable as the arm.
You don't like building my arm?
Oh my gosh, who would want to be her?
I do, actually.
They were asking for it.
They needed it too.
Yeah, I hope they learned their lesson.
Well, yeah, they did, but it was the last lesson they ever learned.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
They were about to shoot you in the head.
No, they weren't.
So I play 4 characters on the show. One was the teacher droid who teaches Grogu to pay attention, which he's not very good at. And then I also played Q90, who tries to take out Grogu. So I got to teach him and try and kill him. 2 different characters. Yeah. But anyway, no, I love playing the droids, and it's a real thrill. So it's funny. Good. It's a comedy. Mandalorian. It's a comedy.
Adventures and babysitting. Let's leave it.
Yeah.
All right. Little boy in the Adidas shirt. What's your name?
William Miller.
Okay, and you have a question?
Yes. Miss Swallow, how do you like your new role of the Porter? How do you think of acting?
How do I think of it?
Yeah. Like, do you like it? Or do you like working for the Mandalorian?
I think it's pretty rad. For me, one of my favorite things about being an actor is when I get to learn something new. And me, in my life, I have never known anything about blacksmithing. So I tried to, YouTube's amazing. You can learn a lot of things. But then the thing that was even more helpful, because you can think that you've learned a lot of things on YouTube without actually knowing how to do them. They did have a blacksmith who came in and who kind of coached me a little bit and made sure that I didn't look like a complete idiot, which I was really grateful for. But at the end of the day, I also knew, I had seen Iron Man, and I knew that those sequences where he was doing a lot of that kind of work looked really cool. So I put my faith in Jon Favreau, and that was not a bad thing to do.
Wow.
Thank you for that question.
Yes. What's your name?
My name's Drew. So, had any of you guys known that the child had a name when the show started?
No.
Speaking of, did you guys think the show would have this huge of an impact? I mean, we knew it was going to be a success, but did you think it was going to be this big?
I sure didn't.
You can feel it. I mean, Star Wars, it's a feeling. When I read my scripts, I was like super excited, and I was immediately hooked as a fan, and then also nervous because it's Star Wars, and I've never done anything that already had such a huge following, and so it just meant, that much more to then work really, really hard to bring these characters to life for everybody. And I was like, I didn't know it was going to be this huge, but I was like, it's Star Wars, and I was so excited. So.
All right, I saw a hand out here. Who was it? Where? Thor. What's your real name?
Brandon.
Hey, Brandon.
I know for a lot of us probably grew up being fans of Star Wars. Were any of you fans of Star Wars, and what was that like, kind of being and shaping that, like the show and the world that you grew up watching?
Yeah, I mean, dating myself, I saw the first Star Wars in 1977 in the theater, and
we were there.
That totally ignited my whole imagination as a kid. And so I decided that one day I wanted to work for George Lucas. That was only one Star Wars movie. Why would there be more? And so I was really grateful. But I was building spaceships out of refrigerator boxes, and I had my own cockpits, and all the figures and fringe characters. That really John and Dave have built a whole series out of fringe characters like Death Star droid and Kubaz characters. But anyway, to then be called to be on the show was like every dream come true. But you don't know what you're going to be doing so much until John goes, all right, Chris, I need you to go get familiar with the cockpit of the Razor Crest. And I'm like, oh, okay. So I sit down and I start pushing all the buttons and flipping all the switches, and that was just like, I can't believe this is really happening.
I guess you were preparing for the show?
Yep.
All right. Yeah, you in the back with your hand up.
Wait, I got an answer too.
Oh, I don't want to get you mad. That's for sure,
He
Emily.
does this.
I'm a fan. Yeah, I don't. There was never a time in my life when Star Wars wasn't around. It was just part of the fabric of my childhood, and I played like Ewok Adventures in my backyard and wanted to be. Yeah, can I get a whoop whoop? Wanted to be Princess Leia, of course, and that's when the YouTube tutorial would have come in handy because I couldn't figure out how to do the hair, and that would have been nice. So that's what it's so bizarre doing this now and getting paid for it, because so many times on set I really do just feel like I'm channeling like that little kid who was getting lost in this universe, and then I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm getting paid to do this.
Misty, could you answer that so I don't get yelled at again?
Yes. I was definitely a fan. I happened to be having to scroll through old scrapbooks, and I don't remember having the shirt, but I had a Star Wars shirt when I was 3 years old. I'm like on a little bike.
Nice.
And I just remember seeing, I was really obsessed with Yoda, because I was like, he looks real, but I know he's not real, and he's a puppet. And so then to, fast forward, when I got my deal memo, my agent's like, you might want to pull over your car. And like I read it, like I was just reading what it was, and I scrolled down, and in the bottom it's like Star Wars, and I'm just like, oh my God, and I started crying. Yeah.
Before we
We're a
get to
little
the next question, hold on one second. Emily,
Yes.
your ring.
My armor.
That's badass.
That is so cool. I
I
just
just
noticed
got
it.
this.
So cool.
This company called Rock Love makes it. It's the armor, and then on the band it says "This is the way," And apparently it could also be a weapon because I've already cut myself with it. So be careful.
I just happened to glance down. I have a question to answer, and I'm like, oh my God, I'm really going to be quiet.
This can be yours. Go to Rock Love online.
All right, we did have a question in the back. What's your name?
My name's Jake.
Hi, Jake.
And I was wondering if how often you get mentors with this, and if so, what's your most memorable experience with them?
I was there when he came, I guess, on John's birthday when we were shooting, and I still like, oh my gosh, I get chills thinking about this moment because I'm looking at, and he's like telling stories and he's holding court, and all I could think about was how insane and brilliant and magnificent it was that this man, against all odds, all these people who like didn't believe in this story that he wanted to tell, he made this movie over 40 years ago, and it has endured. And now, like with all this new technology and this whole new like generation of creators and fans, like it's still going. And I can't fathom what it's like to be in his mind and to be able to see all of that. So that was my strongest impression.
Misty?
I was always in my costume, so and on set. I remember hearing everybody singing for John's birthday, but we were preparing like on set. I'm like, happy birthday! So yeah, I never met him, but yeah, just seeing the pictures and stuff, and it is surreal because again, his message and what this universe means to all of us and all of us that have been a part of it since the beginning. It's really special. So yeah, I hope to meet him someday outside of costume.
Chris?
I've had the same experience. I've worked with George a few times, and every single time I was in costume. But the most, I would say the memorable one was when we relaunched Star Tours at Disney World, Disney's Hollywood Studios. I was there as C-3PO, and because C-3PO is the new pilot of Star Tours, so I was there, and then Anthony Daniels comes out, the original actor who played C-3PO, and then George comes out, and so I'm kind of standing off here, and Anthony and George are standing here, and George looks over at me and goes, "3PO, why don't you come over and stand by me?" So I went and stood between him and Anthony Daniels, and I was like, George directed me.
I got a question for all three of you. We'll start with. Okay, you go first.
Oh, okay. So my question was about the costumes because, I dress up. There's a bunch of people here. What was it like for you? I know you've been in several, especially yours, because, how long was the process to get ready?
It wasn't long because it's not. Quill is an animatronic head, so it took a lot of people. Took 3 of my guys on my crew to lift the whole thing because the backpack that he wears was filled, jam-packed with the animatronic board and all of the wires and everything. So it was a whole unit that they would lift up and then put on top of me. And then, screw it on really tight sometimes for all my close-ups. So the blend of the skin that Legacy created, thank goodness, was so amazing that I didn't have to be glued in, and they just, did makeup around my eyes. And so, yeah, it took about 30 minutes in the morning to do the makeup around eyes and get everything on. But once that was on, to pop the head on and off, it was only about 20 minutes. So
What weighed more? You were the head.
The head.
I was going to ask that.
There's I remember Brendan, one of the Mando Dumbles once, like nobody knew, and he dipped me and he saw my face, like I was like, because he kind of like, whoa, you're heavy. I'm like, yes. It's like, please don't, just like, in this moment I was like, oh my God, he's gonna break the board because I'm gonna fall on the ground on my back. So, but yeah, he was heavy. So, yeah.
Chris?
started as a fan at conventions, building my own costumes and going as characters. And so when I was called to, I'd already been doing C-3PO on television for 15 years, or 12 years at the time, and they called me for Q90, and I saw the concept art on the wall and was like, oh my gosh, this is so cool, because he's like, if C-3PO was Boba Fett. I mean, he's like just such a cool looking character. And after doing 3PO for 12 years, that's a restrictive costume, right? But Zero, I only had to get suited up from the waist up because I had CG legs. So I was like, I could sit down and I could
That's nice.
be so comfortable. But the other ones, I've been playing mostly droids, and they're all, people ask, is it comfortable? I mean, like, compared to what? It's not, it's part of the work, and that's, something I love doing. So, yes, there are times when it's uncomfortable, especially when you're doing stunts in these costumes, which aren't really built for stunts. But anyway, it's a lot of fun. It does take, probably 30 minutes. We've gotten it down to 10 minutes to suit up as a droid. But, that's because if I have a trained, person helping me. But it's a lot of fun. You have very limited vision, but when you see, the cast's reaction to, your character, it's really a cool feeling, and you kind of see through the tightness of the costume.
Emily?
The process of getting into my costume is easier than any other role I've ever played, because normally I sit in the hair and makeup chair for 2 hours, and I love that I don't have to deal with that. And it takes about 10 minutes to put all the pieces on. I do need help with that, and then I just put my helmet on my head. Once I'm inside, it's a different story. And I just remember, like, when I finally got to see some camera playback, I was so relieved because I felt so awkward because I couldn't really see. I didn't know where I was going. I had these gloves that were like way too big, so when I'm trying to pick up my tools, it was really clumsy. And then half the time, especially when we were doing like the first episode and all of us were sort of getting used to our Mando gear, it was sometimes like a Three Stooges sketch because we would like bonk helmets, we would run into each other, we were tripping on things. And I kept hoping that they would release some of that in the in the behind the scenes stuff, but I guess they want to maintain the dignity or something. And like Chris was saying, like it's not like I would put this on to like relax on a summer afternoon, but it's not. There's many worse things I could be wearing. I played a mermaid once on a TV show, and that was weird because I couldn't move my legs, and people had to pick me up and move me places. So I will definitely take the armor over that. Yeah.
Chris, you spoke of cast reaction. So what were your 3 reactions, Emily, Misty, and yourself, when you first saw the child, when you first saw Grogu? What were your reaction?
Oh yeah, well, I went into Legacy Effects to do a screen test for Q90, and they just like casually walking me through the studio where people are sculpting things and painting things, and I come around the corner and sitting on the table is this child, and I'm like, what is that? I feel like I shouldn't be seeing this. But, super adorable, and he wasn't moving or anything because he was just, no puppeteers or anything.
Wait, he's not alive?
I mean, at the time.
Well, my heart's broken.
Shoot.
Yeah. So anyway, it was just a real surprise and shock. And then I realized after reading the script that he was really the big star of the show.
Misty?
You said, is he?
I said Misty.
Oh. I was like, are you questioning that?
Yeah, same thing. I had to go in for a lot of fittings at Legacy for Quill, and a friend of mine, Connie, was fixing his hair, his little fuzz on top. When I rounded the corner, I'm like, oh, that's a baby Yoda. I'm like, people are gonna go crazy, and I have to keep this a secret. I know. This is gonna be so hard, but I was so excited that they were able to keep it a secret because that reveal was just all. And then I was like, oh, thank goodness, I can talk about him now. So, yeah.
Emily?
It was so stupid because I knew I was looking at a puppet. I knew he wasn't real, but I was just reduced to idiocy and like, oh my gosh, I can't believe it. And he is so, I mean, whoever designed him, whoever created him, just like, it's perfection. It's ridiculous. So that was that was it.
But to see him in person is as real as seeing him on TV because you know, I think did we all have scenes with him?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, okay. And he, you know, there's no one like attached to him really during when you're filming. I mean, there might be one person, but he's usually hidden. And so when you're looking at him, you know, his ears will be, you know, like slightly moving, and he'll be blinking, or you know, he'll be like looking around, and it's like he looks so real because he's practical. And I love that John and Dave are using practical effects, you know, using Legacy and others. So because it's so relatable to be able to see something real. And it's relatable to us too because we're working with a real character.
Right. Attack on Titan, you had your hand up for a while.
Yeah, my name is Sean. I gotta ask about this because I heard about this as a rumor. Is it true about the stormtroopers that y'all didn't have, like, did y'all hire like cosplayers because you guys didn't have enough suits? I don't know if that was absolutely true, but
No idea.
I mean, the 501st is known for they were brought in to be on the show, but I mean, I don't know the reasons for that other than John and Dave are making a show for fans and with fans, and I think it was super awesome that they were included, you know, to be on the show, and they loved it. If you talk to any of them, they loved the experience.
All right, lady with the hand up.
Yes, my name is Gareth, and I work in TV and film in background in New Mexico. Do you think The Mandalorian will ever be coming to New Mexico to film? So some of the Colorado brethren or the local New Mexicans would be able to be a part of the show?
If they were, they wouldn't tell us.
Yeah.
Sir in the white shirt.
Yeah, so
What's your name?
John. Hi. So you mentioned like having to kind of keep the secret like from the very beginning, but as the show starts to release, like it's an episode at a time. Is it hard to say what is it a difficult situation to be where like you know some stuff you can talk about some of it but you can't talk about? That would break my brain, I think, to be able to talk about some pieces and not all.
Well, I remember being at home and you know, Grogu's name hadn't been released yet, and I was chatting with and people, you know, because they know I love him, so I kept getting gifts, and I got one. It was like Grogu. He's like, you didn't hear that? You didn't hear that?
Bless
I got
you.
something in my throat.
Like literally as it was coming out of my mouth, because they're right there like oohing and awing too, and they're like, what'd you say? It's like, nothing. It's like, I'm gonna get in so much trouble. It's like, don't repeat that. So yeah, I have troubles with that too sometimes. So.
Emily, your answer?
I'm trying to remember. I mean, part of what helps is that I certainly didn't read every script. I didn't read scripts for episodes I wasn't in. So which was awesome because then that meant I got to watch and be a fan.
Right.
And that was very satisfying. But I remember my brain. At first, it was easy because they told me not to say anything, and I could do that. But then, yeah, it does. And I think I just always try to say as little as possible because I don't trust myself not to give away the wrong thing.
Chris?
The question was,
how do you keep
find
a
it hard
secret?
to keep the secret in between episodes to reveal? Yeah, I mean, I'm just watching it. I wait and watch it with my family or my friends. So I you know, if my character pops up, I don't even say it. I wait for someone to call me on the phone and say, "Hey, Chris, was that you as the droid?" Yeah, I never say anything before everybody sees it.
All right, you in the back had your hand up with the mask. Yeah, you. Yep. What's your name?
My name is Bree. I wanted to ask you guys, like, out of all of the Star Wars series, like, what's your guys' favorite character?
Oh.
Ooh, all right. Emily, you go first.
Oh, man.
I saw the look on your eyes. That's why.
Like, I need more time to think.
I hate choosing favorites. I mean, I'm going to say Princess Leia is an easy one for me because she's one of the first ones I remember. I like that answer. This young man in the front just said, what about all of them?
Yeah.
Chris?
Cool. But one of the things I love about The Mandalorian is that we're getting introduced to all these fabulous new characters. Khalil is one of my favorites for sure. Yeah, I feel like it sort of depends on the day because there's so many really interesting, bizarre, fully realized creations. So it's a pretty fun thing to get lost in.
Chris, your answer?
Favorite characters. I'm partial to the droids. I love that they don't look like they're a human, but I know that somebody's in them, but you can't see, the person in them, hopefully, if they're doing a good job, and they all have. Yeah, I like the droids. Yeah, whether everyone asks who's your favorite droid, it's the rolling ones and the walking ones. Those are
Misty, your turn.
I love, obviously, I love the whole universe, so I love all the characters for different reasons, but as a kid, I really was drawn to Yoda and the Jedi and Obi-Wan, just because of, I didn't understand it as a kid, and I was really sad when, he's fighting Darth Vader, and it's like, why? So, and my dad had to explain that to me, and it's like, it's the way of the Jedi. I was like, okay. It's like, and I understand it better now, but I love those characters, so.
What's your name? Michael.
Who was your favorite guest director?
I was biased going in because it's like one of my bucket list items to work with Taika. And so when I found out that he was going to be directing one of my episodes, I lost my stuff. But I have to say, like, now looking back and I got to work with Dave Filoni, and I got to work with Deborah Cho, and I got to work with Waika? I'm combining his names. Taika. And I mean, they're all brilliant for different reasons. And one of the things I think that is so genius about what John has done is that he has assembled this team of directors who are all so unique and yet are so good at contributing to the story in a cohesive way. And so they all had their own unique skills, and they were all marvelous.
Chris?
Deborah Chow really knew what she wanted, but she said once we started working together, because she directed all my scenes zero in the cockpit, and one day she goes, all right, Chris, I want you to give me that zero energy. And like nobody else understood what that meant, but I did. I needed to be a machine. But I'm in this tiny cockpit, and it was really kind of clumsy. But she was always knew exactly what she wanted. But like Rick Famuyiwa, he directed my episode where we're in the hangar, or the part of the episode where we're in the hangar, and I'm walking down the ramp and stuff. And he was super open to like ideas. And that's something that like Jon Favreau said. He said, as a director, I know what directors want, and as an actor, it's good to know both sides. And he said, I want you to be on time, and to come prepared, and know your stuff, and to bring ideas. And so so as creative people, we bring ideas about our characters. Maybe we've made up stuff, for a backstory or whatever. But when you come with these kind of ideas, they a lot of times use those ideas, or maybe they don't. But whatever. At least you're not a hollow shell, or you're a creative force on the set, and they really appreciate that.
Misty?
Again, they're all so unique, and they bring their own idea. Like Dave Filoni, he's my first director, and he just puts you at ease. He's just so happy to be there, and it's like, so we're shooting. And I just remember, because he comes from a different discipline. And our very first day of shooting, we were outside. We were on the backlot location, and Queel and Mando were first up. And he's just chatting with us, and the cinematographer's like, we gotta go. He's like, why? He's like, see that giant ball of fire up there? We're chasing that. And so, he's like, oh, okay. But he just kept it light. Deb Chow, her and I, it was a lot of, Mist, I know you love the baby. Don't touch the baby in the scene. It's like, I promise they won't pay him any attention. She's like, remember, you're a grumpy old man. Don't touch the baby. Rick Famuyiwa he was patient because Brendan and I had a laughing moment in a scene, and we kept getting to one part, and he would start laughing, and I'm like trying not to, and my puppeteers are like, are you moving? Are you doing something? So, because they trigger Queel's, dialogue, and we just couldn't get it together, and he didn't care. He was just so sweet, and just all of them. Peyton, his energy is amazing, and Bryce, Dallas Howard, she's like, I know you know what you do, and you do it so awesome, so just do it. And so, it's like, thank you.
I forget about Bryce. She is so joyful and so happy to be there. Dave just wants to sit and talk about Star Wars.
Yeah.
Not even about maybe the scene we're doing. He's just talking about the Death Star droid, or just how the Jedi works or whatever. It's really so fun to work with these guys and ladies.
Awesome. So, what was your guys' reaction to Luke Skywalker's return?
Just tears streaming down my face.
Yeah. I was like, no way.
Guys, I got bad news.
We're out of time?
We're out of time.
No!
That was so fast.
Thank you all for coming.
And so please give Misty, Chris, and Emily a round of applause. Go down to their tables, get an autograph, get a picture, say hi. And thank you for coming to Colorado Springs Comic-Con.
Yay.
Thank you.